to tell something funny. I don't know, I have to take about 30 seconds to give a little introduction before Pioneer Ming. Growing up, I was always somebody else's somebody, and it was me. I was my parents' child, my sister's sister. She was older and prettier and outgoing and all of that stuff. And that went on through my first couple years of college. When I got in nursing school, I finally began to realize, you know, I'm somebody. I don't know who, but I'm somebody. Then I finished school and got married. So once again, I was Jim's wife. You know, I wasn't anybody but Jim's wife. And well, you know the saying about life begins at 40. So by the time I was 40, I began to realize, or tried to realize, who I was. And so this leads into the pioneer part. I was 42 at the time we made the trip back on the freighter. And remember this one Wednesday night, and you know what happens in most churches on Wednesday night. Jim took the kids off the boat to a church, to prayer meeting. Well, I had an invitation to go out with this other lady. You just keep quiet for a minute. There were just the two ladies on board at that time. And, of course, all these officers there. Well, for some reason, the first mate had taken notice of me because there were no other women around. Well, we were invited to go to a bar.
We were at church.
I had Jim's permission to go out. So the two ladies went with these two, whatever, first mate and whatever else the other one was, comptroller or something. Went to the bar where there was all this good music. Well, growing up in the Southern Baptist Church, of course, dancing was a sin. So I never learned to dance, though I had music and rhythm in me, you know. Well, that night I danced with the first mate. It was a good slow dance. The other fella asked me the next piece of music to dance, and it was one of these fast things that you had to do, all kinds of, well, I couldn't do that, so I just gave that up and told him to get the other lady to dance with me. But I don't know what I was meant to start out with this sentence. I don't know what your image of me was as a missionary. And I'm not going to ask, and especially after telling this story. But for a long time I've had a streak of rebelliousness or standing up or something. You're nodding your head, you know me pretty well. But from that time forward, I did a lot more reading, a lot more thinking, a lot more reflection, and finally, and in the first years of my coming out, I didn't mean to use that term. It has a different connotation these days, but coming into my own, shall I say, as myself, it caused some problems in our marriage. Even going to the counselor, couple's son, Jim went first, and then insisted that I go by myself and then later together. But when I went, the counselor said to me, "You're not at all like I expected you to be." I think I made stop.
That first mate was a slime bag. He was horrible. He was a drunk. And he wanted my mother. I did not like that man at all. Well, I can't top that. We went to Hong Kong and then to Busan. Oh, in Hong Kong, they were praying for us. There was a typhoon out there. There was a typhoon, and the missionaries were very worried about us. We were outside the typhoon, sunning ourselves on the deck. Then we went to Busan and made it back in time for the World Expo. Osaka, you remember that? 1970. So that's our trip.
The first taxi ride I ever took by myself was from Kyoto Eki to your house. 1960, I was at CA coming for one of those physicals. Let's see, Howard, are you here, Howard?